If you guys want to be in with a chance of winning a copy of FIFA 20 on either console of your choice, all you need to do is leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Best of luck and enjoy the video. Hey guys, Heathway here, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking all about FIFA 20 gameplay, my first impressions, what I like about it, what's overpowered, and a few things that I think should be tweaked and changed by the time the full game is released. Now, I've been playing the game extensively over the past few days on the beta, and I'm really enjoying it. Sadly, I can't show you guys any gameplay, any footage, any screenshots, anything like that, because it is the beta. I'm just going to be talking about it. If you guys do want to see a little bit more about the beta visually in terms of the menus and the graphics, then I'll leave a few links down below to some Twitter accounts that are sharing some information about the beta. But in this video, I can't show you guys any of that because it would get copyright striked by EA. Now, first of all, I want to say that I'm really enjoying the gameplay of FIFA 20, and I hope that it doesn't change much between the current build of the beta and the full release of the game. That's what I really hope, and that seems to be the general consensus of a lot of people playing the beta. They're saying, please don't change it, because it is honestly so good. It is, in my opinion, the best gameplay we've had on any FIFA. It's just so enjoyable, and it's very different. It took me about 5 or 6 games to first get the hang of it because it's a lot slower, defending is a lot more manual, the AI really has very little impact at all defensively for you. You have to be controlling your defenders and making tackles with them. You can't just drop back, and that's a really good improvement, I think. And when you actually go in for a tackle, you win the ball back. If you make the tackle, you're going to get the ball. You're not going to make the tackle and then have the ball bounce back to your opponent and they're going to get through. So defending really has been improved, and I find it a lot more satisfying now. You really have to work quite hard to get the ball back, defending, containing, and timing your tackle so you get in at the right position. When the ball has just been knocked out of the opponent, you can just get your foot in, get the ball back. You have to time it right. If you don't, they're going to get past you. But it also means that slower defenders who have really good defensive stats, think of someone like PK for example, are really good. Pace isn't that important. The game as a whole is slower. The gameplay is slower, so it's more kind of based on passing and everything like that. And pace itself, the stat, is less relevant. So it's not all about using really quick players. You can use players like Toni Kroos, Busquets, Casemiro. I've been using Aduriz and Diego Costa extensively, and they've been so good. I'm currently using a La Liga side, and just using those slower players who are really good on the ball and are quite strong and physically imposing. They're all really effective. My favourite player so far is actually Dani Parejo, who's got like, I think, under 40 pace, but pace isn't that important, and he's just very good on the ball. He's tall and all around a really good player. So that's the first thing. The game is a lot slower, defending is a lot more important, and I think defending's definitely been improved a lot. Now, another thing is passing. You can score some really nice tiki-taka goals, and that's what the game seems to be about. Short, quick passes seem to be effective. From my experience so far, give and goes where you do 1-2s are so good, and they may be tweaked a little bit when the full game is released. Maybe they're too good now, but I just find it so fun. Banging passes about everywhere. They actually go where you want. The passing is a lot crisper, a lot smoother, and just better in general. And when you press LB to make your players make runs, they actually make a quick run. They get into space. It's a lot more responsive, and they actually make much better runs into better places too. So quick passes open up space very well, and it makes attacking a lot more fun. Dribbling is still quite effective, but you can't just run at someone and do loads of La Croquetas. When it comes to skill moves, you could do 1 or 2 skills, and that could effectively beat a player. I find ball rolls to be really effective. Drag backs are also very good. But if you go and start spamming these skills, they get less and less effective. So if you do 1 La Croqueta, you can beat a player effectively. But if you start chaining them together and doing like 4 or 5, your touches are going to get worse, it's going to get sloppier, and it's going to be a lot easier for the defender to come in and get the ball. So you can no longer spam the skills like that, like La Croqueta and the Elastico, which are probably the 2 most spammable ones we've had in previous FIFAs, as with the roulette, the heel-to-heel, other skills like that. Tornado crosses don't work really anymore either, although crossing is quite effective, both low and normal crosses, and also chipped crosses where you hold the left bumper. I find all of them to be effective. Tall strikers are good. That's why I've been using Aduriz and Costa, 2 players who are very dominant in the air. because yeah, crossing is just a really effective way of playing, and it allows you to use those taller, stronger, more kind of like physically imposing players. Even someone like Olivier Giroud, for example, is going to be usable on this game, and I think that's great because in previous FIFAs I really can't think of many games where you've been able to use a lot of players. Typically there's a very kind of specific meta and you have to use players that suit that meta, and it means that like 90% of the gold cards on the game are just not usable, even if they're really high rated. Like no one uses Toni Kroos or Busquets or Vidal or Diego Costa or Giroud, or any players like that, Vincent Kompany, Piqué on previous FIFAs. I can't really think of anyone using those types of cards because they're slow, they're a bit clunky, they maybe don't necessarily have really good skills or anything, and it means they're just not very good. But on this game you can use tall players like that, strong players, and they can really use their physicality and hold the ball up very well and bully weaker players. I find strength and physicality is a very, very important attribute to have. Pace is less relevant, so I've been using Raul Albiol, for example, at the back, a slower defender, but someone with really, really high defensive stats. He's also really tall. I think he's like 6'4", and he's just been dominating all the people who've been using people like Ben Yedder and those smaller, kind of less effective strikers, I'd say. But also players with good agility and balance, I think they're effective too. You want to kind of have either someone who's got really good agility, really good balance, really good at dribbling, and if you have that and you're good at dribbling, you can beat those bigger, clunkier defenders who don't really know what they're doing. When they come up against like a really quick player, you can just dodge side to side and get past them. Dribbling is effective. Like if you have Harry Maguire up against Messi, Messi's going to be able to get past him, so dribbling is quite effective. But that doesn't mean that those bigger, taller, clunkier players aren't effective. You just want to play with them differently. There are different ways of actually playing this game. It's not like there's a set meta that you have to play to. If you want to play more with dribbling, then that can work if you have the right players for that. But also you can play with someone like Diego Costa, you can shield the ball a lot, you can use the physicality, and you can play a different play style. So that's what I like about this game. It's a little bit more mixed, and I've really been enjoying the tiki-taka style of play. Really quick passes, 1-2s, creating space, lobbed through balls are something I do find quite effective. Again, maybe a little bit too overpowered. I'm not sure if that's something that could be tweaked when the full game is released. Something that I'm really pleased about, that I'm glad EA are doing, is actually they put polls at the end of some of your games. You get a kind of survey, and you can choose a variety of different answers in response to a question about the gameplay. So for example, they'll say, what do you think of the new dribbling mechanics? And you've got 5 options, varying from them being really effective all the way down to like, I've never used them, they're pointless, that kind of stuff. So you can kind of grade various new features on what you think of them, and in the middle is where I've gone with most of them, and that's been they're good, they're balanced. Overall, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm not trying to hype this up to make FIFA seem better than it is or anything. I have no need to do that. I'm saying, as a FIFA fan, a long-term FIFA fan, I'm really enjoying this game. Something else I've noticed is that goalkeepers are a lot more consistent and a lot more effective. I haven't seen any goalkeeping mistakes for either me or my opponent in any games I've played, and I'm currently using a very good goalkeeper, 90 rated Oblak, and he genuinely saves everything he faces unless it is just a perfect shot. And it means that when you're in front of goal, you really have to know what finish to go with. You can't just hold down, shoot and hope it goes in. Yes, obviously it will sometimes go in, but you want to maximise your chances of scoring by looking at the angles, looking at which foot you're coming in on, using different types of shots, maybe a chip shot, a finesse shot. You have to assess the situation and see what the best finish to go for is. So finishing is more kind of skill based, I think, now. You can use things like timed finishing, obviously, to maximise your chances of scoring. But yeah, goalkeepers just seem to be a lot more effective. And I've seen, just on the whole, there are less goals going in the games I've played. I've had a lot of kind of 1-0s, 1-alls, and quite a few 0-0s too, just because people are adapting to the game. And I don't really think anyone's worked out the best kind of finishing mechanic so far. Low driven shots are quite effective from what I found. But they don't seem to be super OP, but generally just goalkeepers seem to be really good at pulling off crazy saves. That's maybe just because I'm using Oblak, who you would expect to be very good, but most people seem to have decent keepers because most players on the game are fairly inexpensive right now, as it is the beta, and you can get someone like Oblak or Courtois for about 20,000 coins. So I think goalkeepers are really good, and I like that because obviously you don't have the really inconsistent mistakes that a lot of keepers make where the ball just goes through them. But also it means that you have to know how to finish. You can't just hope that it goes in. You want to, if you want to actually be able to maximise your chances of scoring, it needs skill. And I think that's something that's pretty cool. Although I think maybe it will be toned down ever so slightly just to increase the number of goals in games and make it a little bit more entertaining, because people don't want to play 0-0s all the time. I mean, I'm fine with that because it is enjoyable gameplay. But I think for the general kind of wider player base, especially for the younger audience, they're going to be more interested in scoring lots of goals. So that's something that may be toned down a little bit, because some of the saves honestly are insane. It's as if they are on steroids. But overall, I really like the gameplay. I think the main things to take away from this video, from what I've been talking about, it's slower, defending is a lot more manual, it's less AI based, and it requires more skill, as does finishing. Pace is a lot less important. I've been using players like Parejo and Cruz, and they've been really good. Physicality is a key attribute. If you've got a tall player who is strong and can shield the ball, they will be effective. But also you can use players that have really good agility and balance. It's less about pace when it comes to dribbling and beating players. It's more about the dribbling stat and the agility and balance. And obviously they both attribute to the, or contribute rather, to the dribbling stat. So if you've got good dribbling, you can use the new strafe dribbling mechanics, you can use body feints, and you can use some of those skills I've mentioned. The ball roll and the drag back are the most effective ones I've used so far. Ball rolls seem to be really good. You can drag it back and then do a ball roll. You can combine those two together, but you don't really want to be combining more than like two skills together in a chain, or else it starts getting sloppy with your touches. But I find the ball rolls, you often nutmeg players with them. If you're running next to someone, you can ball roll it and you'll get on through the other side of them, turn the defender very well. So that's quite an effective skill move. But overall, I really like it. And I don't have many criticisms. Maybe goalkeepers are a little bit too overpowered. I think 1-2s are quite OP as well, and lob through balls as well. One thing that I think you guys will be really happy to hear about is if you disconnect in a game and it isn't your internet, if your opponent disconnects, whether it's their internet going down or them just quitting the game, and the scores are level, on previous FIFAs, it would just be a null game. It would be irrelevant. You wouldn't get the win. It would count as a draw. But now, you actually get the win for that. So that's pretty cool. And that's something I think a lot of people have been asking for. So that is something that I'm pretty pleased about. But yeah, as I said, honestly, like, there aren't many things that I can really fault EA on so far. Like, even in terms of like visual glitches and things, there haven't been anything like that at all on the beta. And I'm just talking about gameplay here. Like, if you guys have other questions about the game in general, then be sure to let me know down below in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them in more videos like this, where I just kind of sit down and talk to you guys without having the gameplay, and just kind of focus on letting you guys know about something that you may not necessarily have the chance to play. Because I know the beta, I think quite a lot of people have got access to it this year, but obviously there's still hundreds of thousands of people who don't. And very few YouTubers are talking about it. Very few YouTubers are doing videos on the beta, because I think they're scared that their videos will get copyright striked. To be honest, I am slightly, but I think, given I'm just talking about this and not showing any gameplay or any screenshots or anything, I should, hopefully, fingers crossed, be okay and I won't get copyright striked. So if this one goes down fine, I will do some more videos like this just talking about the game. I've got lots of FIFA 20 videos lined up in the future. I should be at a festival right now, but that festival got cancelled, which means I'm bringing you guys lots of videos like this. So I've got tons and tons of stuff planned for the next couple of weeks in the build up to FIFA 20. I'm hyped. The beta's got me hyped because the gameplay is good, and it's been the first FIFA in a long time that I can say that. And moving away from the gameplay, I really like just the game as a whole. I've got Ultimate Team. I've not even had the chance to play Volta or anything, but the menus are a lot smoother, the layout's good. All of the new objectives we've got, really good, although some are so hard. I think there's one that gives you a 100k pack, or a 125k pack. You need to score 100 chip shots, 100 finesse shots, 100 headers, and 100 bicycle kicks. And yes, you can do it on squad battles on beginner mode, but it's going to take you a very long time. You've also got new kind of friendly games that you can play that don't affect your fitness or contracts or anything. And you can play those within Ultimate Team against either your friends or random people, and you can play the kind of house rules games like King of the Hill and stuff like that. So there's a few cool new game modes and things within Ultimate Team. But as I said, if you guys have any more questions about the game, whether that be gameplay related, menu related, whatever, then fire away and I'll try my best to answer as many of those in my next video. So if you guys did enjoy this, leave a like. If EA are watching this, then please don't copyright strike me. I'm not showing any gameplay or anything, I'm just saying your game is sick, lads, so please don't change anything. Or maybe tweak some of the things I talked about, but don't like drastically change this. And also, if you guys do want to see things about FIFA 20 that I can't show you in this video, screenshots and like pack openings and stuff, and like the menus, check out some of the Twitters linked down below. Give them a follow and you'll be able to find out a lot more about the game. But I will see you guys later. Take care.